You follow the rules. You keep your head down, do as you're told, and try to do the right thing, and still, you feel powerless. No one notices your silence. They cross it like an empty bridge. Your kindness is mistaken for weakness. Your loyalty is traded for manipulation. You show your heart, and in return, they show you the blade. They don't care about goodness. They care about control. You've lived as a man, but men are broken every day. What endures is something else. Something harder, colder, untouchable. There comes a moment when you stop begging for permission and start forging your own path. When you stop craving approval and become the force others must reckon with. The moment you decide to go silent, your rebirth begins. This is what Machiavelli called God mode. No emotion, no guilt, no hesitation. Pure strategy. Action without announcement. You move unseen. You command without raising your voice. You become the one they can't read, can't predict, can't break. This is not about being divine. This is about dominion. This video isn't here to inspire you. It's here to kill the version of you that waits for permission and awaken the version that bends fate, that moves in silence, and that builds power instead of waiting for it. Machiavelli didn't wait to be given power. He took it. Now you will too. Lesson 1. Before you become powerful, true power isn't seized. It's built. And the first block laid is the destruction of your need to be seen. That craving for recognition, that's the weakest link. Your enemies will use it against you. Machiavelli understood this. He saw rulers fall, not from lack of strength, but from hunger for applause. Want praise? Want admiration? Those are your levers, and you've just handed them over. God mode begins in the shadows, not with physical invisibility, but psychological silence. You act, not for approval, but for results. You move without announcement, without needing a single soul to witness your greatness. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. But before the world learns to fear you, you must stop fearing its judgment. The truth is simple. No one will value your moves until they need you. No one will see your power until it shakes them. No one will respect your quiet until it quietly reshapes the board. Let them talk. Let them dismiss you. Let them think you're nothing. Meanwhile, you build leverage in silence. The man who needs recognition always shows his hand too soon. He talks when he should listen. He acts to impress, not to win. That's not God mode. That's insecurity in a power suit. Want real power? Move like a ghost. Forget image. Forget validation. Forget needing anyone to acknowledge your strength. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be undeniable. And that comes from action, not explanation. From consequence, not emotion. The less they see your motives, the more dangerous your presence becomes. You don't shout. You don't argue. You simply alter the outcome. And they're left wondering how. Lesson 2. The power of fear. You don't need to shout to control people. You only need to control the room when you enter. Not with aggression, but with the quiet weight of what you command them to feel. That feeling is fear, not terror, not rage, fear, the subtle kind. The kind that makes them pause before they speak, hesitate before they test you, avert their eyes when yours meet theirs. Fear is the purest currency of power. It doesn't lie. It doesn't change with the crowd. When morality falters, fear creates order. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. In a world obsessed with being liked, he taught the value of being feared. Men are quicker to betray those they love than those they fear. Love breeds assumption, familiarity, weakness. But fear, true, controlled fear commands caution, respect, and silence. This is the shift. Stop caring how they feel about you. Care only about the quickening pulse when your name is spoken, the weight of expectation, the memory of your silence. Make your presence a trigger, your name a reminder of discomfort, your stare a lesson in restraint. You don't threaten, you condition. Make unpredictability your weapon. Predictable people are easy targets. If they expect a smile, give them silence. If they expect an answer, give them none. React only when it serves you. Let your approval be rare, your reactions calculated. Keep them guessing, projecting, always a step behind. You are not cruel, you are deliberate. You are conditioning their nervous system to obey, even in your absence. But to maintain fear, you must be disproportionate on occasion. Stay calm 95% of the time, but be decisive the other 5%. Let them see what happens when they cross you. Not with rage, but with quiet, irreversible consequence. Withdraw an opportunity. Cut a connection. Exile without sound or spectacle. Let the punishment be clean, cold, and final. That single act rewires every future interaction. You become someone they calculate around. A presence that demands respect without asking for it. You are not in their world. You are in their mind. And there you stay. Lesson 3. Absence as leverage. The true architect of power wields not attention, but absence. While most seek the spotlight to feel significant, you cultivate influence by strategically withdrawing, disappear when you're expected, only to reappear when no one is prepared. This pattern creates tension, and tension feeds fear. Leave conversations unfinished. Let your silence hang in the air longer than your words. Walk away from disrespect without explanation. Your departure, sudden, unexplained, forces others to question your boundaries. Delay your reply. Let the silence stretch until it weighs more than the words you could have spoken. Let them speculate. When you're not in the room, your presence multiplies in their minds. Your influence grows not through chasing, but through haunting. Power in this calculus is not active pursuit. It is the quiet assertion of absence. The more unpredictable and mysterious your comings and goings, the more cautious they are in your wake. Lesson 4. No explanation, no defense. To explain is to submit. When you justify your actions, you invite others to judge and debate your choices. You hand them the illusion of shared authority when in fact, you alone command your will. Never explain. Never allow others the comfort of rationalizing your motives. Never defend yourself. To defend is to acknowledge their right to question your authority. Let them wonder. Let them invent reasons for your silence, your absence, your actions. Remain untouched, unbothered. Your refusal to engage elevates you above their noise. Fear grows in the space of the unknown. Your silent, unexplained dominance conditions those around you to see you not as a person but as a force. This psychological conditioning is what turns a man into a presence, something they instinctively fear to offend. The Machiavellian blueprint. Machiavelli's God mode is not loud or violent. It is clinical, psychological, and deliberate. You do not need to shout. You need only to condition those around you, until your essence reshapes their instincts. True power becomes vulnerable, when visible. The more they see your hand moving the chessboard, the easier it is for them to react. The highest form of control is exerted not in the spotlight, but in shadow. Machiavelli never admired the loud ruler. He revered the invisible architect, the one who never speaks in public, but whose will orchestrates everything. That is the model advanced by this philosophy. Power as an unseen current, bending the world without ever announcing itself. In summary, power is not about seeking validation or attention. It is about leveraging your absence and silence until your very presence becomes a psychological trigger. Let others fill the vacuum of your silence with their own fear, speculation, and hesitation. The unseen hand is the most powerful and the most feared. Lesson 4. The invisible architect of power. True power does not announce itself. To become the one no one can attack, you must first become the one no one can define, let alone prove. Stop striving to be seen as powerful. Instead, vanish from the frame. Yet leave your influence in every corner. Let others draw attention, take credit, even applause. You are the architect, working quietly, leaving no footprint. You do not give orders, you guide. A conversation here, a suggestion there, then fade into silence. While they argue, observe. While they fight, calculate. While they chase recognition, build control, one invisible brick at a time. They won't realize what you've done until it's too late to reverse. And by then you're already beyond their reach. Control is not about noise, it is about presence. Your words need not echo. Your decisions must. Never let them see your hand, only the effects of your thinking. The man who demands control is insecure. The man who changes the room without moving is the true ruler, cloaked, silent, and always one step ahead. This is the elegance of God mode. You win without fighting. You dominate by never raising your voice. The spotlight bends to your unseen will, not to your face. People believe they make their own choices. They never notice the invisible path you've drawn for them. That is victory. Real control is not being feared, but becoming untouchable. Power is not just what you do. It is what they believe you can do. The strongest man in the room is seldom the loudest, richest, or most aggressive. Often it is the one whose image is unassailable, whose reputation paralyzes before a single word is spoken. It is not about fame or popularity. It is about crafting a mask, a presence so potent it intimidates, mystifies, and commands obedience. Before you do, Machiavelli mastered that. He understood that perception is more potent than truth. What people believe you are matters more than what you really are. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few ever encounter what you actually are. So let them see a version of you refined to myth, sharpened by rumor, set aflame by speculation. Let them imagine. Let their fear and envy fill in the blanks you never reveal. When your persona is untouchable, your actual moves become insignificant. They are already reacting to your shadow. You must become the man whose name is whispered in rooms you've never entered, whose absence lingers longer than any presence. The man they prepare for, but never understand. Build not by shouting, but by silencing all noise. Say little, but let every word land. Move rarely, but let every move shift the board. Appear composed, untouchable, above the fray. The paradox: the more they see, the less they fear. The less they see, the more they imagine. And imagination is where fear turns to legend. Give them nothing to grasp. No explanation, no defense, no vulnerability. Never overshare, never argue. Let them question, while you remain a mystery wrapped in power. In the end, true dominance is not seized. It is projected. The most formidable power is not in the hands but in the mind. Theirs, never yours. A reputation truly worth its weight is self-sustaining, fueled by whispers, forged by results, shielded by silence. Let them talk. If someone speaks against you, your aura should be so unassailable that no one listens. If someone challenges you, their voice should ring hollow long before you answer. That is real power. Not domination, but inevitability. The kind that doesn't command but compel. The kind where your name alone bends the room, and people walk differently when you enter. Where they rehearse their words before speaking to you, and you remain a silhouette, never giving them clarity, never letting them see the man behind the mask. Your true desires, your pain, your fears, bury them. Once your humanity is exposed, it becomes your weakness. Your presence must seem to transcend all of it. Polite, but apart. Calm, but inscrutable. Generous, but always in command. You give just enough to be approachable, never enough to be vulnerable. The weak crave to be understood. The powerful build personas beyond reach. When your image is untouchable, your influence becomes gravitational. You never need to beg, chase, explain, or correct. You simply are, and the world adjusts. Real dominance is not brutality or chaos, it's gravity. A presence that draws others in, keeps them spinning just outside your orbit, always wondering how close they dare to get. Understand, power is not just earned, it's sculpted, carefully, silently, over time. Your reputation is armor, When people speak of you, notice how their voices change, quieter, more deliberate, less sure, not because you threaten, but because they don't know where they stand. They can't place you, define you, predict you. That is the edge. The moment your image becomes tangible, it can be challenged, but when you vanish behind it, you hold the strings, you remain out of reach, untouchable, and so, you own the game. The final chain: emotion and transcendence. There is one final chain left to be broken, and it is the most difficult. Not the opinions of others, not fear, not weakness, but emotion itself. As long as you are ruled by what you feel, you are already compromised. When your decisions are colored by anger, guilt, affection, or pride, you are still a servant to the same forces that keep the masses in check. You cannot rule a world that still owns your heart. Machiavelli never trusted emotion. He studied it, weaponized it, never surrendered to it, because he understood the burden most men cannot bear. Emotion is the leash. Logic is the blade. You've been told to follow your heart. That is the advice that weakens armies and topples kings. Those who rise are not the ones who feel nothing. They are those who feel everything, but act on nothing. They smile through betrayal. They wait in stillness as others underestimate them. They strike only when no one is watching. Always, always guided by strategy. Never impulse. They have mourned their own weakness, buried it, replaced it with precision. This is what is demanded of you at this level. You must let your emotions rage inside, and still choose silence. Let others insult you and not react. Let them test your limits, and respond only when it serves your position. You no longer speak to be understood. You speak only to advance your aims, destabilize theirs, or anchor fear. Let go of the need for justice. Justice is a myth sold to men with no power. The powerful do not seek fairness. They seek leverage. Stop wanting to be seen as good. That illusion will only bind you. You are not here to be a savior. You are here to be sovereign. Anyone tied to their emotions is a predictable machine. Easy to provoke, easy to trap, easy to destroy. The moment you detach yourself from them, you become something inhuman to others. That is when you become unstoppable. They will not understand how you think, how you endure what they never could, how you can smile in silence, then destroy without warning. They will call you cold, ruthless, soulless. In truth, you have simply ceased selling your peace to every feeling that knocks. You have stopped giving your power to those who have not earned it. You no longer need to be understood, forgiven, or liked. You need only to be inevitable. This is the final evolution of God mode. Not rage, not revenge, but transcendence. You are unshakable, unreachable, untouchable. Not because you have abandoned humanity, but because you have outgrown the need to display it for approval. Emotion is now a tool, not a master. Pain becomes data. Love becomes leverage. Loss becomes recalibration. Now you move differently. Not faster, but higher. Not louder, but colder. Not recklessly, but with devastating clarity. You no longer ask, "Is this fair? Will they like me? Am I doing the right thing?" You now ask, "Does this increase my power? Does this fortify my position? Does this weaken theirs?" The game never ends, but you are no longer a man in it. You are something else. A strategist without chains. A ruler without mercy. A force beyond emotion. You have activated God mode. There is no going back. The final trap: comfort and the price of lasting power. You've detached from emotion. You've mastered the art of invisibility. You've built a persona so untouchable that it looms larger than any individual. But this is not the end. It is merely another beginning, and the final trap is not fear, nor weakness. It is comfort. The moment power starts working in your favor, the temptation returns to be liked, to explain yourself, to seek approval from the very system you now control. That is the ultimate test. And it is the test most men fail. They rise, only to kneel once more for applause. They conquer, only to beg for love. They win. Then still, crave acceptance from the world they've already outgrown. Do not be one of them. Machiavelli never admired the man who won. He admired the man who stayed in power, not by force or fury, but by never stepping off the throne, the man who ruled from silence, who never gave the crowd a chance to rally, to resist, to strike. When one of the two must be lacking, it is always safer to be feared than loved. Fear does not fade with your absence. Fear does not ask for your attention. Love, in contrast, is fleeting. Love is conditional, easily redirected, and breeds entitlement. Power is not built for emotional sustainability. It is built for strategic survival. You must maintain the distance between who you are and what they see. Let them know the mask, never the man. If they believe they understand you, they will believe they can defeat you. But keep your thoughts hidden, your motives opaque, your silence unbroken, and they will never know where to strike. This is the essence of remaining above the system. You belong to no crowd, no movement, no ideology. You are your own kingdom, ruled by cold principle, not shifting sentiment. You listen to everyone. You reveal nothing. You make them all feel close. But you are attached to no one. You speak just enough to matter, but never enough to be predicted. You become the man people reference, admire, and fear, but never fully comprehend. When they study you, all they find are fragments, echoes, shadows. Never again will you step back into the cage. You have become more than a man. You are no longer part of the crowd. You observe it coldly, clinically, from above. You do not seek its approval. You shape its direction, and if necessary, you dismantle it. You have activated something beyond human ambition. You are no longer their equal. You are their lesson. Let them talk. Let them guess. Let them invent stories about how you operate. They will find no answers. Only results. Only consequences. Only your name, whispered with a mixture of fear and respect. Never truly understood. That is the price of real power. You stop being relatable. You become inevitable. Now the choice is yours. Will you take this blueprint and build something untouchable? Will you wield silence, strategy, and absence until your presence alone bends reality? Or will you fall back into the illusion of safety, the comfort of weakness, the familiarity of belonging? Decide. And if you are ready to rule from the shadows, to win without being seen, dominate without raising your voice, then understand this channel exists for you. Like this video, if something inside you has awakened, subscribe if you are done following and prepared to command. Share this with those still asleep. They won't understand, but the ones who are ready will feel it. This is the world as Machiavelli saw it. Now it's yours.